it's a meeting that is we aim at finding our place as data scientists during this pandemic. So let's start without further ado. So the health aspect of it in terms of number of people who are infected or number of people who have recovered, but we want to extend to a larger scope, such as what is the how is the internet traffic, how are roads, how is the road traffic, maybe how will the economy be in the next 3 months or so. Yeah, so it's something wide. So, but for today we'll focus on the health aspect. So I hope everyone can see my screen. Great. Yeah, so there's this URL. Oh, there's URL rpubs.com/admin/r. So I would like everyone to go here first. There's some things we'll be needing for today's session that are here. So I hope everyone can access rpubs.com/admin/r/roadmap. Yeah, so I hope everyone can do that for now. Yep. So when you're there, as you're there, please let's start first by importing data. So we'll import data using the R package called readr. So basically we'll be doing like kind of a scrapping data from the Johns Hopkins repository. It's a reliable site. We can get the global number of people who are affected by this pandemic, either people who have recovered or people who have gotten infected, and sadly, people who have succumbed. So our aim for this session is to take a really messy data set and put it into a form that is convenient for data analysis. So I would like you just to get a hold of these three URLs, please. So just have them copied. I'll show you how I did to get those URLs. And let's get right into RStudio and paste our URLs. So these are URLs and just paste them. Great. So let me first explain why I did that. So what we want to do is we want to go to this. So this data is gotten from this URL. It's the GitHub repository of where all the data is aggregated as they come on a daily basis. So as I said, it's a reliable repository. So when my internet is bad, yeah, but we are here. The URL is in that rpubs, and then after you get here, we want to take the time series data. So just click on time series. Sorry, my internet is a little. Yeah, great. So when you click a file, either the global confirmed or the global recovered, you get a table, a nice table like this. So to take that data and read it in R, you just click on the row button here. Great. And when you click on the row on that button, gives you just the same data set but in a different form. So these are the URLs that we just copied. So these are the URLs that you just copied. Just wanted to highlight what actually has been done. Yeah, so I hope that is clear. I hope how we have gotten the data is clear. Maybe, yeah. So great. So from then on, let's go to R now. So that's how we obtained our URL. So we are going to work using an R notebook. So to create an R notebook, you just the plus sign here, and just click on R notebook. So that will create a new notebook. So a notebook can combine text and code and results. So that's why we want to work with a notebook, because can put everything together. So you can just start by removing this, not necessary. And to insert an R chunk, you just click insert and R, and an R chunk will appear. So it's the same I've done here. So we have copied all the URLs from where we'll be importing the data. So now and put them in R. So let's run them. So let's run all those URLs. Great. Now they are in our environment. So to just make sure of that, they are in our R environment. So a few things I should highlight, maybe for anyone who is new to R. This is how we assign variables in R. It's the same as equals, maybe in Python or MATLAB, but in R, it's highly recommended use this assignment operator. It's kind of less than and a minus. So you can do this. You don't have to manually do this. You can click Alt and minus. So in my console here, if I click Alt and minus, I get a good assignment operator as shown here. So that's basically what we did. We assigned those URLs some variable names: global confirmed, global recovered, and global succumb. Yeah, so that's done. Let's go forward and insert a new chunk, a new R chunk. So minute. So let's insert a new R chunk here and load our required library. So for this session, we'll be using the TidyR package. So it's a collection of many packages, and to load, it's actually a good practice to load everything together. So to do this, you just write library TidyR. Great. So R will autocomplete for you. You can just press the tab button. Yeah. So and we click on the run button here. So yeah, takes a bit of time because a lot of packages are being loaded, as you can see. So the TidyR has packages like ggplot, tball, TidyR, par, deployer, forcats. Yeah, so for our session, we'll be using the deployer package for wrangling, the TidyR, and the readr for importing data. So great. So let's now go to our next step. Now that we have our URLs, let's get rolling by loading the required packages. So now we've already done that. So what remains now is getting that data in R, importing that data. So what we did here before was assigning just the URLs to put them in our environment, but we haven't yet obtained the data. So how do we obtain that data? We use the readr, the package readr in R. So in the TidyR, I mean. So that's how we now read the whole data frame, all that data frame. That's how now we read it now in R. That's how we import it from the GitHub repository to R. So to do that, we use the read CSV, read and then underscore CSV. So So the read CSV, we want to read these CSV files in the links, because as you can see, these are CSV. They have an extension of CSV. So we use the readr function read CSV, and then let's just put in our URLs. So our first URL was global confirmed, and after we read it, let's assign it to a variable name of the same name still. So global confirmed is equals to, is equals to read CSV global confirmed URL. So this will read the data, and this will store the data in our workspace. So that's basically what is happening. So maybe I can zoom it a bit so that to increase visibility. Just let me zoom it a bit, maybe 175. Great. Hope it's all visible now. Yeah, so we were here. Yeah, so we were here. So global confirmed, we import the data using read CSV and assign it to a variable named global confirmed. Then let's go on and let's create a new variable name called global recovered, for people who have recovered. So let's call it global recover, and press Alt and minus to assign it to the data that will be read underscore CSV, and then we read in the URL that we saved. So our URL was called global recover URL. Great. So there's that. Then to our last data set that will be needing before we put all this data set as one is the global. Sadly, the people have succumbed. The global succumbed, and then the alt minus, and we read this. We read the CSV file from the link, and our link was saved as global succumbed URL. So this now will read the data into R and store it in our environment as a data frame or a CSV file. So once we run this chunk here, it will take a bit of time as we kind of like scrap the data from the repository. But yes, done. So it's done. I hope up to this step. Everyone has been able at least to do the same. Great. So yeah, so we have now our data in R, and we can confirm this by clicking the environment and clicking on a specific data set. So let's work with the recovered people. So if you click just here, we can see that, great, the data set from the repository, the Johns Hopkins repository is in R. Yeah, so it's a bit messy because we have the province/state column, we have the country/region, but these dates here, they are really not supposed to be like that. We want our data set to be, as we talked some few weeks ago, a tidy data set, such that each column represents an observation. So what we want to do now is take all these dates and put them under one column called date. So that's what we want to do. So to do this, we'll first begin by removing some columns we don't need, such as latitude and longitude. So we really don't need them now. So what we'll do is now to remove them. So, and how do we remove rows that we don't want in R? So it's pretty simple. So how to do? Let's just add another chunk for consistency. So let's remove the latitude and longitude columns and assign them to another variable name. So how we do this? Let's start by defining the variable name we want. I still want to use my global, let me see, global recovered, which name is global recovered. And I want to assign this to this result. So the alt and minus, our assignment operator in R. So how do we remove rows that we don't want? We use the select command. So if you want to see how select command works, just come onto the console over here and type select. Yes, so let's see the result. Loading up a bit. Great. So select, what select does, select, you choose or rename variables from a table using select. So the R documentation is really rich. So select, it requires a parameter called data, and this these three dots are other parameters such as the number of rows or the rows you want to keep or the rows you want to discard. So we want to keep all the rows except latitude and longitude, and latitude and longitude are column 3 and 4. So how do we drop them? So as you see, select requires data. So global recovered is equals to, we call our command select, the deploy command select. Then the first parameter in that function is data. So what is our data? Our data was called global recovered. And then after that, we just put in a comma. So we want to drop some certain rows. So to drop some certain rows, you use the minus sign. So minus, and because there are many rows, we want to put them together. I mean, there are many columns, we want to concatenate them together. We use the -C. So C means concatenate, and concatenating in just simple terms means bringing many rows together. So we want to remove row 3 and 4. So we just concatenate them together as one and write just row 3 and 4. And hopefully, let's see our results. We hope that the global recovered data set will be without those two columns. And great, yes, we don't have those two columns. So that's awesome. We are doing nice. Maybe I hope anyone has a question until there. Maybe someone who is lost or something. Okay, so silence means consent. Consent, yes. Yeah, so I hope everyone can obtain a global recovered data set with no the latitude and the longitude column. So we can go on ahead and do this for our other data sets, such as global confirmed or global succumb. So to do this, we just follow the same steps, just for global, how do you put it? For global confirmed, want to put the result under the same name as the data set. So global confirmed is equals to select. We select the first. So the first parameter is a data set. So our data set was called global confirmed in this case. And we want to remove the column 3 and 4, just like in our previous data set. So to create a TidyR data set. So you can highlight this, and an easy way to run it is using the Control and Enter keys. Yep, and let's do this also for our last data set. So for our last data set, let's continue global count. We want to select. Just want to select. We want to drop these two rows. These two columns. I mean. So our data set was called global circum, and we want to drop column 3 and 4. So you can highlight and press Shift Enter to run just that one particular line. Great. And when you come now to your environment, we can see all data sets don't have the latitude and longitude columns. So that's great. That's absolutely great. So next, we are tasked with this task of taking all these columns in all these columns 1/22/20, 1/23/20, 1/24/20, and just put them under one column called date. Yes, and let's see if no, okay. I thought I had something of the sort. So we want to put them under one column called date, and their respective values, and another column called, for example, recovered. So for each column here, let me call them fake columns, because they're supposed to be, all these are dates and they're spread all over. We want to gather them into one column called date. So that's what we want to do. So how do we do this? So we want to gather them into one column called date and their respective values, such as in day 22, this is the number of people who recovered. In day 23, this is the number of people who recovered. We want to put the cells of the recovery in another column called maybe recovered. So how do we do this? So in R, it's quite simple. There's this core, how do I call it? Core function in TidyR package called gather. So if we just come to the console and !gather, great. So the result here is we see gather takes in data as the first parameter, a key, and a value. So someone may ask what are key and what are values. So there's a kind of good explanation of our keys and values. So just wrote it down, maybe for someone who'd want to read. So as I said, our variables are spread across columns. So that's what we are dealing with. So we have done this. We have done this just a minute. So what is this? This is what gather does. So gather collects a set of column names and places them into a single key column. So the single key column we want to place is a column called date that holds all these dates together. So we put them under one column called date. So that's the key. So it also collects the cells of those columns and places them in a single value column. So what this means, what this statement means, it also collects the cells of those columns and places them into a single value column. So these are the cells, the observations made for that particular day. So that's what we want to do. We want to put them under one column called date, and next to it is the observation for that date. So this can be easily done with just one, with this the gather command. So let's create a new chunk for doing this. So an R chunk, and let's get into it. So I still want to use my same names, so I'll just do global recovered. So global recovered. So this is my variable name, and I want to assign it to this operation. So alt and minus, use the assignment operator. So we want to use the command gather that gathers rows spread into one column. So gather, our data is, I'm just reading it from here, the parameters that gather requires. R has a really nice README or something, has a really nice documentation. So global recovered is our data set. So we have named the data. So now we want to name the key. So the key, as you said, as we explained here, so the key is the new column in which you want to put all these dates. So we want to put them under a column called date. So that's the key. And want to put the observations, these cells, the respective observation for that particular date, want to put it in a new column called, for this case, recovered. So the value parameter takes care of that. So value, we call it confirmed. No, recovered, I mean. Great. And one last step, we won't be requiring these two columns, the province and the country. We want this operation to be performed only from column 1, 2, 3, only from column 2, only from column 3 onwards. So we want to exempt this operation from being performed on the province and the country because they have no problem. They are tidy as they are. So from this column over here onwards, it's where we want to perform this operation. So to do that, we do the negative concatenate just as before. So negative C. So we don't want that operation to be performed on column 1 and 2. So just write 1 and 2. And let's run this and see our results. So just highlight and and control enter. So let's see our results. So great. So this is our result. We moved from something like this to something like this. What we call in R a tidy data set is because everything is put under one column. So all those dates we have put them under one column, and the observation for each particular date has been put to a value called recovered. So that date and the corresponding value are nicely put under two columns called date and recovered. So that's what the gather function does. So yeah, so that's how we have done. That's how we gather. We gather the data scattered across our untidy data sets. Yeah, so we've only just done that for only one data set. So you can still go and do the same to our global confirmed and the global circummed data set. So it's just the same, only the names that change. So to do this for our global confirmed. So this is my variable name, global confirmed, and then we want to assign it to an operation on the right hand side, which is basically this. Yeah, so alt minus gives you the assignment operator. Then you just type it again, gather. Then gather. So gather requires data, a key, and a value. So the data is our messy data set, global confirmed for our case. And the key is the new column for the fake, let me call them the fake rows. This rows that, I mean, the fake columns, these columns that should be under one column called date. So the key is date, and their corresponding value is taken care of by the value parameter. So value is equals to, so the corresponding value for each date, we want to put it under a name called confirmed, for instance. So confirmed. Yeah, and this negative concatenate, it just tells the function gather, don't do this on our first and second column. Yeah, so let's also run this and see how our global confirmed data set will look like. So just go to the environment and boom, let's see. So looks pretty much the same. So yeah, so we can go ahead and do this for the remaining data set. So the remaining data set will be the global circum data set. So I can just copy that, not recommended. I recommend typing, and I will just change the variable names and the data sets. So just change there, and the global. Now I want to deal with the global circum data set. So that's it. So the operation is just the same. The key is a new column, of date. The value represents the observation for that particular date. And for our case, for the global circum data set will be circummed. And then we don't want that operation to be performed on column 1 and column 2. So let's run this. And hopefully our data will be, yeah, great, will be tidy. Yeah, so yeah, until there, maybe someone who has a question on up to there. Anyone? Okay. So I hope it's well understood. We'll send out these slides. Oh, this what do I say? This RMD file with the results and everything after the session. Yeah. So after our data is in this format, now we want to put them all together into one single data set. So we want to combine all this into a single data set. So before we do that, let's first look at the structure of our data. So the structure of our data tells us at the rows and columns in each data set matching, So how do we do this? So let's create a new R chunk. And let's see the structure of our data. So to see the structure of our data, there's this nice command called glimpse. So glimpse just lets you, as the word says, glimpse into your data. Just see how your data looks like one good summary. So glimpse, let's start with our recovered data set. It's the better one to work with. So glimpse global recovered. Great. This tells us this new data set recovered. This new data set, as you can see, has, let me just, so it tells us this new data set has observations 23,500. So it means it has 23,500 rows. Sorry, let me bring it up again, the global recovered data set. So 23,500 rows, as you can see here down, has 4 columns, which are known as variables. So this is rows, this represent variables. And let's see the data type of each column. So the province/state is a character. So this is a character, which is supposed to be. The country or region is a character. So the date has been put as a character. It was encoded, those people who are collecting the data, they put it as a character, but it's supposed to be a date. So we'll deal with this in just a while. And the recovered is a double DBL. DBL means double. So in R, DBL just means it's a number. So it doesn't matter if it has a decimal point or no decimal point, DBL is just a number. So let's take it as that. So it's a number. So the recovered column is good to go. So that's what the result of glimpse tell you. Just a good summary of the number of rows, the number of observations, and the type of each column. Great. So let's do the same for the other data sets. Let's see if they all have the same characteristics. So the global confirmed and the global succumbed. So let's just, sorry, let's glimpse into global succumbed, and let's highlight this and run. So let's see. So the global confirmed has 24,816 rows, 4 columns, 24,816 rows, 4 columns. So as you can see, there's a disparity in our data. This is because the global recovered has less rows, as you can remember. Let's just run it again. So the global recovered has 23,500 rows, while the rest of these have like 1,000 more rows. 1,000 more rows. So from now on, as at this point, we cannot really join them together, because of this, because the number of rows do not match in all of the data sets. So as I was doing this, I tried to understand why are the number of rows not matching up. So I realized it's because of this column called province/state. So as you can see, some countries have an entry. NA means not available. So in Angola, they maybe didn't know the provinces, so they just put the whole figure under the country Angola. But in some countries such as Australia, we have an entry of around eight rows, and all of them are for a specific country, Australia. So Australia has an entry in the province/state. So maybe a country like maybe another country like China, as you'll explore maybe on your own, has an entry for the province/state. So in our particular cases, you can find when they are entering the data for maybe the people who are confirmed, they entered it in per province or per state, and maybe in another data set, the global maybe recovery, they're not done that. They omit some countries omit some of the provinces, and they are put under one column called country. So instead of all these province or state in the recovered data set, some countries have just one country, one entry for the entire country. So to counter this, what you want to do is take the observations of province and state, sum them up together so that they can become the entry for that country. So for instance, for example, we want to have maybe for a country like Australia, we just want to have one entry for Australia. We don't want to have like 1, 2, 3, 4. We don't want to have 8 entries for Australia. We just want to have one entry for Australia. So all the people who have recovered, just one entry, not in a per state. So this brings us to our next stage in this walkthrough. So we want to concatenate all this.
Eric, we can't hear you.
Hello, Bethany. What about now?
Yeah, you're back.
Yeah. Well, I need to get a new PC now. So, sorry about that. This is a webcam, so let me put it well. So let's continue. So let's where were we? We were about grouping all these variables for a particular country into just one. So I've just said this we cannot merge them yet. So let's the group by and summarize. So to do this, we use group by and summarize function in the deployer package. So what group by does, it takes an existing table and converts it into a grouped table where operations can be performed for that specific for a specific group. So, and summarize just collapses many, just as the name suggests. Summarizes just puts a lot of collapses many values into a single summary. So to really easily explain this, there is oh great. Oh no, just a minute. Just a minute. Yeah. So to just a simple explanation using a not so large data set, maybe a not so intimidating data set. Great. So let's assume we have maybe some census data, and has male, female, the population. This is just a dummy data set, and the county. So what we want to do in this data set is that all males in a particular country, in a particular county, are grouped together, and a summation is done to determine how many they are. So, and all females in a particular county are just also put together, and their sum is done. So this is what the result of a group by can. This is how the power of group by can do. So can take all, for example, the gender, which is female, all females in a particular county, they're all summed together, and all males in a particular county are summed together. So this is kind of a result of what we want, you know. So we want a messy data set like this and put it to more meaningful stuff, a more meaningful and a tidier data set. So going back to our, so that was just a detour. So going back to our data set. Yeah, so let me just close that. Yeah, so going back to our data set, we want all the entries in a particular country to be grouped together, and they become an entry for that particular account, for that particular country. So to do this, let's insert another R chunk, right? And let's start using the group by command. So as I said, R has a very good documentation. If you don't really know what is going on, just type question mark group by. If you don't know how to use it, that is. But with time, you maybe get acquainted. So, but for beginners, so group by starts with a good description. You can read the description there. So takes the data as the first parameter, and these are the 3 dots are the variables you want to group by. So let's get onto that. Let's see a good example of maybe what I'm saying. So let's first view this. Let's view it. Let's not first save it as a variable name. Let's view it. So view, then group by. So the first parameter is data. So let's do the global recovered. Great. And
Eric?
Yeah, pardon? Yes?
We can't see what you're doing.
For real?
Yeah.
I thought I've shared my screen, Amma.
Yeah, before, but right now I can't see anything.
Okay. A
You can stop
minute.
sharing
A
then
minute.
share again.
Yeah. Let me stop. Just let me stop sharing and do it again. Huh. So what about what about now?
Still
Anyone? What
no.
about now? Still no?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I can see what you're sharing. I'm not sure why the others can't. Is there anyone with such a problem? Anyone else? Can you see it?
I can see.
You can see. Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry. Now maybe internet or something on your end.
Not the internet. I don't think it's the internet. Let me try to see what's up.
Okay. So I hope everyone else, maybe Bethany, I hope on your side you can see.
Yes, I can see it.
Okay, great. So let's proceed. So before doing this, so where we were, so we want to group all to do a summation group wise, such that every country will only have one entry, will not have a lot of provinces. We want to take all the entries for the provinces, sum them up so that they can become the entry for that country. So so before we do that, let's introduce one powerful function in R called the pipe operator. So the pipe operator is let's read the documentation of the pipe operator. So just question mark, it's under the package deployer, and then let's just bear with me. Yeah, so the pipe operator, sorry, when you come here, so I just written deployer and two semicolons and just selected the pipe. So this is the pipe. This is what it's called, the pipe operator. So when you press on it, it pipes an object forward into a function or call expression. So that's basically what it does. It takes the data on the left hand side and forwards it to a function in the right hand side. So it provides a really neat way of doing so many operations. Maybe you want to select this column, and then you want to add this column, and then you want to arrange these columns. So the pipe operator provides, is used to forward the data on the left hand side to a function on the right hand side. So yeah, so for example, so we'll use this now, and I'll try and explain it as we go by. So let's not first sorry. So let's not first save it. Let's first view the results and see how we use the pipe operator to do this function, a group by and a summarize. So let's view, and then we take our data, global recovered, And then we want to pipe this data into a function group by. So we want to pipe it. So the pipe operator want to forward it, just piping forwarding, just the same thing. So to put the pipe operator, you just press Control Shift and M, Control Shift M. So we're just telling R, take the global recovered and then pipe it forward to the group by. So that means so this will be just the same as would have written as I'm writing on my console, group by global recovered. So it's just the same. It's just the same. It's just that this one we have written it directly, but with this we have just piped a result on the left hand side and put it in the group by command. So this global recovered will take the first parameter in the group by command, as we can see here, because the first parameter of a group by is the data. So group by, so we have piped global recovered data set into group by, and then we want to want to group by country, right? So we want for a particular day, for a particular day and country, we want just to sum all the results into one. So such that the entries for Australian capital, for New South Wales, and Northern Territory and Queensland for this particular day, we'll just sum them all and just have one summation of those cases. So want to group by concatenate, groups them all together. So what do you want to group them by? So want to group them by country / region, and date. And a date, yes, and the date column. So such that for if there's a match, if a certain province, for example, if there's a match in country and date, they'll be treated as one and sum and do a summation of all of them. So view global recover, then pipe it into group by country / region, and then after that, after we have grouped by, we want to do a summary. So summarize, as I've just said, just brings collapses many values into a single summary. So want to do a summary of the sum. So summarize our summation function into a column called recovered. So summarize recovered is equals to sum of recovered. So let's see how this. So let's see, column country must be length, number of rows not. So let's see. So where has the error come from? So global group by this, then summarize. Don't know, should work. Let me see what I've done earlier. Where was I? Oh, sorry. This just a bit. Okay. So what really is happening now? Unexpected dash in country region. So let's see what I've done just confused a bit. So go by country, date, summarize, recovered, equals some recovered. So where are we? Yeah, so let's see, group by, maybe it's this, all this, oh my god, sorry. Yeah, so what the problem was, my number of brackets were unmatched. I didn't have, there's one bracket I think missing or something. So view global recovered piped into the function group by. So group by country and region, and then summarize everything into a column called recovered, which is equal to the sum of recovered. So great. This is what we get. So for each, if a group matches a country and a date, all of them are summed up, and you get one result called recovered. So this helps eliminate the issue of many provinces, the provinces such as this, because if a certain province matches a particular country and date, and another province matches a particular country and date, they're treated as one, and the result, they get summed up. So that's how we deal with this unwanted column here called province/state. So I hope that is clear. Maybe before continuing, maybe a question. Anyone has a question on how group by and summarize work? Okay, so then maybe that is clear. So let's not now view it, because you've seen it works. Let's assign it to a variable name called global recovered. Okay, so global recovered would be equal to this result. So let's just run it. And we can do the same for our other data sets. So a data set such as global confirmed, we assign it to this operation. So takes the global confirmed data set, then pipes it, Control-Shift-M, pipes it into, or forwards it into the group by command, and want to group by country, country/region, and the date. So we group by country/region and the date. So after that, after group by, want to do a summary of the sum of each. So of each group. So summarize. So the summarize command just does that. And we want the sum of that summary to be put under one column called confirmed. So column called confirmed is equal to the sum of our original data set. Of our original column that we had called confirmed. So great. So that's what happens. So that's yeah. So we get our global confirmed data set. So let's see how that looks like. So each country, if there's a match in the country, if two provinces match a country and a date, they're put under one, and we do a summation. So Afghanistan, date 22, if it had if it had provinces, all of them, the entries of all those provinces are just summed up, and we just get one result. So that's what group by does. So if we do the same for our last data set, so I'll just paste it there. So sorry for that. So I'll just, that's Python. I'll just change everything here to the circum global circum. Just try and change everything up. The operation, the logic is just the same. Yeah, and yeah, so the logic is just the same. This is what we have done in the last two data sets. And let's run it and see how our global circum data set looks like. So great. So the country, maybe a country such as Australia, which was giving us problems. Yes, so you see, we have eliminated all those provinces, and their values have been grouped into one, and for that particular date, we just do a total of the total entries that were recorded for that province, and they're all of them put under one result of the country. So yeah, so this is what we wanted. So to eliminate the province and state problem. So after that, we go and see how, if all our data sets have the same number of rows and columns. So as you can see, you can do the glimpse. You can do the glimpse command as we did before. So let's just do glimpse global confirmed, glimpse global succumbed, and glimpse the global recovered. So I hope by now all the data sets will have the same number of rows and columns. Yeah, great. Yeah, as you can see, observations rows are 17,390, and the columns are 3. The variables are 3 for all data sets. So they are matching. So now the last step. So I hope there's no question until here. I hope everything is clear until here. So anyone with a question, please? Okay. So after, since now everyone since now every row, every data set has the same number of rows and columns, we can just now add them together. We can concatenate them into one data set. So how do we do this in R? So there are quite a number of commands that, if I were to say, there are quite a number of options to do this. So you can use the left join, you can use a right join, you can use a full join. So I'll just explain the most convenient one to use, like a de facto rule in R to use is usually a left join. So what a join does, you define what the key you want two data sets to be joined with. So the key is kind of, if this and this match, then join that column. I mean, join that row. If this and this match, then then join that row. As you can see here, I'll just try and illustrate the left join from here. So on the left, there's a data set x1, x2, x3 with a key 1, 2, 3. And on the right, there's a data set 1, y1, 2, y2, 4, y3, and not applicable. So a left join, to note, it keeps all the variables on the data set on the left. So x1, as you can see here, val x, x1, x2, x3 is retained. And then it looks for a match in the key. So does the key in x1, 1 and 1, do they match? Yes, they match. So join y1 to x1, and y1 is joined to x1. So going on next, does 2 and 2 match? Yes, they match. So join y2 to x2. And then goes to x3. Does 3 and 4 match? There's no match. So x3 is retained, but for y, because there's no match in the key, there's no 3 in the key, so it's dropped. So that's the best way to join data sets in R. So let's now wrap up by just doing that, by doing a left join. So as I said, if you don't know how things work, just put a question mark and the command you want. I want to do a left join. So how is the left join done? So it has a very good documentation, RStudio. So a left join takes X, the data set you have, and then Y is the data set you want to join in X, and by is the key. What do you want to join this by? So you want to join global account data set to global confirmed to global recovered. So we want to look which is the most convenient way to join them. So you could join them by country, you can join them by country and date. So if for example, if in this data set of global account, if you want to join global account and maybe global confirmed, if there's a match in country and date, join them. If there's no match, drop it. So, but here there's nothing which will be dropped because all our data sets have the same number of rows and columns. So let's just see it before I think it's a good idea first to see it before you save it. So I like using view. So that it will not save, it will just be displayed on R. So view, want to start with the X. Our X is global confirmed. So let's start with global confirmed. So global confirmed, and then what do we want to join? So we use the pipe operator. So Control Shift M. So this pipes it into our function called inner join. As we discussed, the pipe operator just pipes the data on the left to a function on the right hand side. So global confirmed is piped into inner join. So inner join, so this will be the first parameter in inner join. So, and the next parameter is our second data set. Our second data set is global recovered. So we want to join the global recovered to the global confirmed data set. And then by is equals to concatenate. So if you want to select many columns, use the concatenate command. So by want to join them by country, supposed to be under quotation. Sorry, but maybe not. Country / region. Just a minute. Yeah. Yeah. So want to join by country or region and the date. Yeah. So. Oh, it just happened. Yeah. That's country. Object country / region not found. So maybe maybe it really did require the yeah, sorry, yeah. So you have to put in the quotation marks. I wasn't so sure about that. Yeah, so in a join global, so want to join the global confirmed and the global recovered, and want to join them by country and date. If there's no match in the country and date in both data sets, then it won't be joined. So great. So we obtain something like this. So our confirmed data set, and because there was a match in these two, Afghanistan and date in both data set, then this column was added to the other one. So that's what basically means. So this is what we obtained. We can do this and add another pipe. So as I said, the pipe operator is really convenient. That's why it helps speed up a lot of operations without stopping. So we can add another pipe, Control Shift M, and then we do an inner join again. So we want to add our final data set to what we just obtained here. So we add an suppose it's going to be a left join. Okay. Global recovered. No, we want to boot the global succumbed data set, and then we want to join by, if there's a match in those two data sets of country and region, add another column. So by is equals to concatenate country / region. So it requires those quotation marks, so don't forget, and date. So yeah, so this, so if you can read it, if you can read the code, we started with a global confirmed, then we piped it into a function called inner join. So we want to join, global recovered to global confirmed if there's a match in country and date. So if in one data set it's Kenya /23 /date 23, and in another in the recovered data set it's Kenya /23, those two data sets are merged, and then the result of the first join, want to add another join still. So the result of this is piped into another inner join, and then we want to add the global succumb data set by the same parameters, country and date. So if there's a match, add that column, add those columns in the second data set. So if we run this, yeah, we get a good, nice data set that has combined all the values of the first, the second, and the third data set. So yeah, you can just go ahead and just remove these two, and just save it. So something like full entire data set or something. Entire set. Then alt minus. So entire set is global confirmed. And join. yeah, just save it under a variable name to put it in our environment, and yeah, you have a good, nice data set from the messy data set we had. Yeah, so that's it. That's it on my end. This is how we like a good introduction on how to wrangle data, how to take really messy data, put it in the right form, make sure all the rows and columns are matching, and then lastly to join it. Yeah, so that's it on my end. Maybe someone who has a question, I think I'll end it at there. Maybe Bethany, did you want to say something?
Nothing. Thank you for the session. It's been very nice.
Okay. Well, I hope you enjoyed R.
Yes, but I'm not shifting to R. It's good, but
yes,
not
it's
all of us.
still okay. Not coming out. It's still okay. Yeah. If you ever need a refresher, we are still here. If you ever rethink, that is.
Okay.
Okay. So I think I'll end it at there. So sorry for the inconvenience earlier. I ran into some issues, and yeah. So until next time, please keep safe, and yeah. So we'll see when our next meeting will be. Maybe a more convenient time. Yeah, and so that's it. So take care, and bye. Thank you for attending.
Thank you.
Thank you for the session.